Guys, it's me again, Orcslayer was. Where we last left off, let's see. Checking. Deku, literally just. They all finished the whole camp. Momo got a tracker on the Nomu as usual. One of you asked, why did they go? Not to get Paco. A chance to kill UA students and teachers? They're never gonna pass that up. Shigaraki. And probably show them wherever they are, they may not be safe. So sowing fear into the midst, yeah, or whatever you wish to say. Now, before anything, Deku is called by All Might in them. He's like, so we need to talk, Deku. As they bring over. Well, not bring over, but Deku, All Might, and Nezu, all of them sit down. So he's like, so what do you need? As Nezu's pouring some tea. Well, thanks to Momo, we know the location of the League of Villains. But we need your help in executing it. Feel like if you were there, it'd be a lot more helpful. We can handle the main base of the villains, but we need you to go where we suspect another location is. You'd be with, I believe it's Mountain Lady, Edgeshot, what's his name, Best Genist, there we go, and Kamui Woods. I think those are the people that were there. No, Kamui Woods was all the way across the air town. I'm trying to remember I think there was also Gang Orca. So as they get all that underway, Deku arrives on with them and gets details on how they're doing this. So he's like, so Mount Lady's gonna smash down a giant piece of the wall, then we're just gonna rush in there? It's like, yep. He says, that's a terrible plan. It's like, what do you mean? Mount Lady, no offense, but that is one of the worst plans you could have possibly thought of. In a rush, sure. But I could possibly ease my way in there and just sneak around a bit. I know plenty about blending in and sneaking around. That's unless they specifically have a surveying quirk. It's alright, fine. You get in through the roof and then we'll wait for your signal. It's like, fine. As they get there, Deku gets on the roof and pretty much gets through the roof, like I said. All quiet like. As he's sneaking around, he's like, yeah, what you were about to do was a terrible plan. There's a bunch of Nomus in here. As he's looking around, and he's like, oh, shit. As, if you guys remember, in the video with the flying Nomu, I said it kind of looked weird. I believe I said so, at least. Well, anyways. If I didn't, sorry. You know the guy who had Blacklight the Evolved? And how he hasn't been around in a while? Well, he's pretty much hooked up something and having his DNA extracted. The mad scientists and All for One are splicing things with it, giving a nice little shot of Blacklight. Deku's like, you all should probably stay out of here for this. This is gonna be a shit show. I have a feeling about that. It's like, what's the problem? It's like, at the USJ, we ran into 3 evolved besides myself. I killed 2 of them. 1 of them got away. I see him now, and they're extracting his DNA. But as I look over to my left, I see a bunch of Nomu with Blacklight virus things all over them. This is bad. Start clearing out the entire area of the city, in the sense that we can nuke it no problem. Because if this is getting out of hand, we're gonna have a very big shit show, indeed. So, I'll deal with all this. You all wait outside. As Deku drops down and goes one by one, killing the Nomu. But the thing is, they're hooked up to the tank, so it goes beep, 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 as the thing goes. As All for One's like, He activates some of the Nomu and sends them out to see what's going on. He's like, oh shit. And then as he's cutting his way through the Nomu, he's like, gotta pick this up. He starts just slicing his way through the Nomu, tank at a time. He's like, no, thank God, this could have gone much worse. And before he does anything else, he's like, wait, as he rushes over and kills the dude that was hooked up, thinking that, better stop this progress, better stop this. He's like, idiots. They send them to work with villains with a virus that has the potential to give things superhuman abilities. They're idiots. Thankfully, none of these mutated into Goliath, though. That was godsend. As Deku makes his way, All For One starts to get up, and Deku's like, oh shit, break down the wall, now. So, you just told us, I said do it. As then Deku is blasted with the giant air cannon being sent flying. It's like, ow. As he crashes through the wall, he's like, break down that wall, now. We got a big, as then Smash, Mount Lady did her thing. He's like, alright, Best Genius, focus on tying him up. Edge Shot. I believe it's Edge Shot. Yeah. No. Did Edge Shot? I forget the composition of Best Genius team, so I'm sorry. And like, Gang Orca, hit him with your sonic abilities. I'm out, lady. Stand back just in case. I need you to like come in with a flying drop kick or something. Like you did to that weird villain you drop kicked. It's like, alright. Deku's like, alright. No. Let's see if we can do this peacefully. As Deku armors up to his fullest extent, bringing out the wings and everything. So he's like, alright. Listen, whoever you are. Surrender now and no one gets hurt. As then Shigaraki and all of them are pulled through that portal. And everyone's blown away except for Deku, because he planted his feet nice and tight and used the shield to block it. As he was pushed back far... As he was pushed back quite a distance, and then Deku fixes it and starts pushing upward. Then he gets rushed by, guess who? Those people. Deku's like, oh shit. As he starts dodging left and right, he's like, come on. And then Magna's pulling him in. Compress is trying to compress him down. Deku's like, stay out of his range. As he's like, get distance. As he's starting to get distance, but then Magna makes, what's her name? Toga. And Deku, the magnetism he does. As Deku's like, shoot. As he plants his feet into the ground, he's like trying to push away. He's like, come on, this is stupid. As he's going backwards, Toga's just like walking forwards, trying to keep Deku in the radius, limiting his actual movement. So, you know, Deku's like, alright, if I can't go away from you, I'll come to you. As he jumps up, flies forward, and just punches her. He's like, and next is for you, Big Lips. Slicing down, trying to slice Magna, sorry. Missing, and then getting blasted in the face by a bunch of fire. Then Shigaraki grabs him from the back and decays his armor greatly. Deku's like speaking into it, saying, I'm heavily outnumbered here, get me some backup for God's sakes. And then All Might comes, I am here, smashing into All For One. He's like, thank God, now I only have to worry about these. Let's see, Compress, Magna, Dabi, Spinner, Shigaraki, Toga, and Kurogiri. 7, I think. Yes, 7. As he's like, let's do this. Rushing forward, he uses his shield to block Dabi's flames, but at the same time, he takes his blade out to clash swords with Spinner, doing the sword and shield technique, his classic move, and trying to keep him at bay whilst taking stabs out on those who actually have knives. Toga actually gets in close and gets her knife and is able to stab in, but it just gets stuck. He's like, "You won't make me bleed that easily," as he kicks her, well, knees her more or less, right in the stomach, and then kicks her, sending her flying a bit. Then comes Shigaraki, decaying his shoulder. He's like, "Get off my back," as he then takes his shield and and bashes Shigaraki away. It's like, "Come on, I'm ready, how about you?" As he comes slicing down again and again. He's more or less just trying to keep him at bay, until eventually All For One and All Might have their actual fight, with him sending with him sending the rest of them away. As Deku's like, "Dang it," as he activates Magna's quirk, but keeping Deku out of reach, as he's like, "Come on!" As Deku rushes forward to get to them, he then uses ability that lets him pull things, grabs Deku pretty much, and just flings him off into some buildings. He's like, "Sure." As he crashes through several buildings and lands in an apartment right on the bed. He's like, ugh. As he stands up, the person's like, "Hello." He's like, "Sorry for the mess. The Hero Association will pay for it." As he's jumping through the window, seeing All Might almost on his last legs, as then his true form is revealed to the world. Deku's like, "Alright, this is gonna be troublesome." As he comes crashing down, creating a nice little crater, Deku's like, "So, you're All For One." As he looks over, he's like, "Where'd the Nomus go?" It's like, "They're safe somewhere else." That is truth. I'm also afraid that you won't see them, at least for a while. He's like, "Indeed I won't. But what stopped me from fighting you?" As he brings out his hammer fist. It's like, hammer fist. The guy told me that you enjoyed those particularly. Well, Izuku Midoriya, will you consume me, I wonder? Learn all my nice little secrets? It's like, I ain't taking that chance, trust me. Chances of you being the thing that makes me finally go pop? I had trouble enough swallowing that Nomu the first time. But me trying to do it to you? There's no way that's gonna happen. Imagine this. I consume you, and with all those quirks in ya, I just may end up becoming some weird, mechanical, fleshy abomination. So, let's see how you do, Flinging out flinging out a claw and a hammer fist, he rushes forward, smashing in the ground, trying to make All For One, unsteady, as then he comes in, slicing off his arm. Like, "I'll just tear you to pieces. See if you can get back up then." Taking his hammer fist, then smashing him right in the knee. On the side of the knee. Causing All For One to go tumbling. He's like, "All Might, I can say this. You are strong, young one, but it's not good enough." As he brings out the All Might killing weapon. "This weapon is made to kill All Might. And so was the last thing I tore to shreds. You're no different." Rushing forward, taking out his whip, then trying to swipe at the arm. But the arm's tough, so it's sort of bouncing off a little bit. He's like, "So, I guess I'll go for your other parts." As then he gets his thing, wraps it around All For One's leg, and pulls it, causing All For One to be unbalanced, but not fall. Then he catches himself, throwing the punch. Deku's like, "Hammer fist!" As he brings it forward, clashing fists. But Deku's power is significant, but it's not even close to being able to hold it back. He's getting pushed back just like All Might. It's like reinforcing as he brings up his armor. As then his armor starts to crack as soon as it forms. He's like, "Dang it." As then he puts more force into holding himself steady. He's like, "Oh, you should have listened. to All Might and not gotten into this. Well, not listen to All Might, but you shouldn't have gotten into this. Deku's like, sorry, but I can't let you kill All Might just yet. He has more to do. As he steps on All For One's foot, trying to get in close, but again, not able to, getting punched again. With the other fist this time. He's like, ow. Sliding and then getting next to All Might. He's like, so, All Might, got any gas left in the tank? He's like, yes, I do. Oh, let's do this. And before they rush in, there's Edgeshot and Endeavor coming, throwing their fire and whatever Edgeshot thing is. Deku's like, regain your strength, as he pulls out his shield and tendrils. He's like, no, actually he just pulls out the tendrils. He's like, I'll deal with them. Rushing forward, hitting All For One with the tendrils, causing the things to go everywhere that grapple him down. As then he does a vortex, pulling everything into All For One, having his body smashed several times by giant cinder blocks of cement or anything else, really. Deku's like, keep fighting. Give All Might time to recover. As then Deku takes his claws and stabs them right into All For One's side as he's trying to focus on all of them. Grabs right there where a rib or two should be and then rips out. Ripping out some of All For One's ribs. Yeah. He's like, as he throws it away, not even thinking about juicing up on it. He's like, As All For One takes a knee, you've ripped out some of my ribs. Not many heroes would be willing to do that. As Deku says, he ain't most heroes. Then bringing out the hammer fist again and then doing the spikes attack, where he's like, whoa! Smashing his fist into the ground, causing the spikes come all up. Sort of stabbing All For One right in the legs, getting him, he's like, oh! Pain reduction quirk, ×2, as he's able to keep on going thanks to these pain lessening quirks. As then he comes rushing in again and again, Deku barely fending him off. All Might then regains his strength and rushes forward, smashing All For One in the face after Deku was blown away again. Like I said, Deku's powerful and is way more powerful than anyone in Class 1A. But when it comes to like pro heroes and such, other ones could give him a run for his own money, like All Might and such. From what we've seen from Endeavor, I'd say Endeavor could, but Deku couldn't win against All Might in a straight up fight unless he was able to kill him. Like with brute strength and such, he is completely outclassed. But when it comes to effectiveness in killing and such, Deku's the apex when it comes to that. And All For One's quirks can differ in so many abilities. And Deku's set abilities, it does help him, but it isn't enough to make it equal. So Deku has to think with his head and be on his toes, constantly moving around and trying to do in and out attacks like a blitz. Deku then, as All Might, does a United States of Smash and smashes them down. Deku and all of them are moved to the dorms, but before that, him, and his Deku, his dad, and Momo and her parents all go out to eat. They all go down just to celebrate that Deku and them got into UA and that everything's been going smoothly, quote unquote. And they again wanted to thank Deku for saving their daughter. As they all sit down, Deku's like, it was no problem. Momo's my friend. I've known her for a while. Like, I think a little over a year now. Yeah, that's right. Deku's like, So, did you guys see the news last night? It's like, yeah, it was crazy, wasn't it? Deku's like, you have no idea. Seriously, that All For One dude was tough as nails. And those 7 villains from the League of Villains, I couldn't kill them, so, you know. As he's like, it's so much easier. As he's like, it's so annoying. Well, yeah, but that's what it takes to be a hero. He's like, I know. I'm tired. Jeez. It's odd. Well, anyways, let's eat, shall we? So as they just start talking about business and such, Momo and her parents explaining how business is going for them, and Izuku's dad talking about how his life in the police force is working out. His dad was kept away from that scene specifically at the request of Deku, knowing that if his father got involved, Deku would be too worried about keeping him safe. Ironically, Deku eventually, as they all get to topics on like how's UA, what's it like to be training from All Might, and what about Momo's abilities, as Deku says that he already explained them to Momo, so she could explain them to her. She could explain to them how they work and what they are. Doing just that, as she explains it all. Deku then decides that well, eventually after a long period of time of talking, that it'd be nice to go for a walk. As he stands up, he's like, it's nice talking to you guys, but I'm going for a walk. It's been a while. It's like Momo asked to join him. He's like, well, sure. As they go on for a nice walk. Hope you guys have a nice night. So as they just start walking and talking like how they used to, like they're being actual friends. Momo talks about the other girls and Deku talks about the guys and such. She's like, so what would happen if I consumed one of those Nomu things? He's like, trust me, you don't want to do that. Ugh. As he like gets a shiver. It was like one of the worst things I've ever consumed. Something was up with it, because it's multiple people's DNA and memories strained together. So, if that happens, imagine what that's gonna feel like. Going into you. It's like, ugh. I get so upset just thinking about it. Every now and then I'll get a flash of these guys' lives just cause of how entangled it was. So, you know, I wouldn't recommend it. But you've been doing good and your abilities have gotten stronger. My guess is you've been absorbing small things like rats and such. She's like, no, I haven't. He's like, oh yeah. You had to think about not doing that. It's because you're too nice. She's like, but the Nomu things aren't really humans anymore, are they? No, but neither was that rat. Well, they're unfeeling, emotionless. She's like, well, you got a point there. It'd probably be a mercy to put those guys down. But then again, it's like a thing that you don't know what's going to happen if it goes, like, if you consume it. So, again, I wouldn't recommend it. As she's like, alright. As they just continue walking for the rest of the night, eventually Deku dropping off Momo. And with that being said, Deku's like, tonight was a nice night. Got to eat dinner with my friend's parents, and I got to have a nice meal with my dad. Life is good. Then a Blackwatch operative approaches him. Izuku Midoriya, we've recently heard you've have had a chance to attack the League of Villains. He's like, yes. And I'm wondering where your 3 little pawns went. They're dead. The first 2 I killed during the USJ. The other one, well, he was being used for his DNA to make some specialized creatures, you would say. Point is, you're an idiot. Stop trying to get at me. If you're gonna try and kill me, come at me by the face. Come at me face first. You ain't gonna be able to get close enough to do it, though. Unless I want you to, that is. Deku then just leaving, having nothing more to say. He doesn't want to hear any deals, any compromises, or anything about Blackwatch. He's tired of them. He's legitimately thought about killing that one to send a message, but she's like, people don't know who she is. Oh, kill me. Ugh. Deku then eventually just goes home. Well, goes to the dorms. They all have a nice night. Then comes the whole, what is it? I forget. The whole, license thing? It pretty much goes off, well, Deku doesn't take it, essentially. They pretty much give him a special access saying that he's already earned his way to pretty much becoming a pro in his way he handles things. So they're like, you just sit out this one. Everyone else, though, they pass. Momo, Bakugo, and them try to stay together. Todoroki still goes off on his own, but everyone else pretty much tries to stay together. The only one, and Cammy, or not Cammy, but Toga, does go after somebody's blood, but it isn't Momo's, just so she doesn't get infected. It's actually Uraraka's and such, trying to find someone she could pretty much blend in with. So it's like Toga, well, Uraraka and such, and people like that. She may even try to go after one of the guys. But with that being said, and then it comes to internships after they go through their lives. Like, yeah, this is so annoying. And that reporter dude gets like one-on-one talks with Deku. Deku explained the situation in his eyes. The whole symbol of peace is dead thing is kind of wrong. Like, to be fair, heroes should be a symbol of peace. Well, actually, not even heroes. Police should technically be the symbols of law and order, also peace. Like, if anything, what All Might was more or less a symbol of, well, as it says, peace and justice. More or less just justice. He kept villains in fear, so they wouldn't come out. That's how I view it, at least. All Might was a good hero, I'll give him that. But that whole carrying the world on your shoulders thing is a bad idea. Unless you live forever, it's never a good idea to have the entire world placed on a single person's shoulders, regardless of who they are, how powerful they are. Anyways, it's nice talking to you, sir, as he shakes his hand and walks away. Eventually, like I said, the whole internship. He looks at thinks about endeavors, but he's like, As then he goes to All Might. So, do you know anyone who'd be willing to offer an internship to me? Like, well, I can think of plenty, but he's like, give me someone who you would trust. It's like Night Eye. He's like, oh fuck, come on, Night Eye. That was a dick to me. Like, yes, but he's actually he was my only sidekick and one of the best. His hero agency does very well, and it wouldn't be bad for you to get some experience with him. He's a detective, he's like, so am I, technically. Not licensed, but the guy I absorbed is a detective. Jesus almighty, you'd think you'd remember how many people I've eaten, technically. Like, alright, fine. He's like, no, fine, I'll go with the dude. As for the big three battle, Deku sits that out. Momo and them do last longer, though. Mirio does have a more difficult time with Momo, though. Having the whole thing with... And if you are asking about the part where, in the license part, Deku isn't there, like I said, so the thing with Todoroki and the one dude pretty much Momo takes that place, being the stand-in, you could say. Deku and the whole thing also sits out, knowing that Mirio really couldn't do anything. Even if Deku didn't have his armor on and only threw like 2 punches, Mirio could possibly lose. That's until he sees the whole phasing in and out. And when he's doing that phasing thing, he tries to track him, but it doesn't work, since Mirio technically isn't there right now. He's not there, so he can't hone in on anything. When that happens, Deku's like, oh, this will be interesting. As he sees Momo struggle with this dude, as just keeps popping up and down, eventually just clocking Momo at the right time, right in the chin, knocking her out. Deku's like, wonderful. Momo, you gotta remember, you can't track him with that ability, so don't rely on it too much if he phases in and out of existence. It's a rookie mistake. I noticed that within the second of using it. As it's like, alright, oh. He's like, well, this is over. Let's go. I got some studying to do. As in, Deku meets with Sir Night-Eye. After, of course, talking with Mirio. He's like, yeah, I don't like the guy, but he's a good hero. And he has a good agency. With plenty of experience. So I trust him in his instincts. As he sits down to talk with Night-Eye, Deku's like, so... tired. So, Sir Night-Eye, what are we gonna do? You gonna have me test something? Or are you just gonna stamp it and let me in? As then, Night-Eye's just like, stamp. He's like, alright. Deku, sorry if this feels rushed. I just couldn't think of any more filler, so, you know. And again, I'm stopping after the Shigaraki battle. That's where I typically stop this. So, that being said, Deku and them keep on going. Deku makes his way all the way, well, makes his way with Mirio as he signs autographs and takes a few photos and such, as usual. With that being said, though, Deku does run to everything. He's like, oh, look at your arms. It's like, covered in bandages. As then he sees Shiozaki, and remembering the briefing, he's like, oh, hello, I'm Izuku Midoriya, or Apex, and this is Lemillion. And is this your daughter? As he looks her in the eyes, it's like, as he looks in her eyes, she's terrified. He's like, so, your daughter, what's her name? It's like, Eri. He's like, you know, you look just like somebody I've seen before. I just can't place my finger on it. As Shiozaki is like, is that so? It's like, yeah, exactly so. Now, I don't want to jump to any conclusions, but you almost remind me of somebody who's wanted, wouldn't you say? So, why don't we just be safe, go check you down at the police station, you know, just for safety's sake. Because for today's first day on the job, if I let a known criminal run through my fingers, it's a disgrace, can't you see? So, Mirio, take the girl, I'll walk with this guy right here. As Shiozaki starts to remove his glove, Deku's like, hey, there's no need for that, sir. Otherwise, would you like me to bring out my toys as well? As he flings out his claws, he's like, so, what will it be, sir? It's like, fine. As they start walking. Sorry. Deku and them eventually grab... Not Deku. They all go get close to not prison, but the police. As then Shiozaki quickly whips out his hand and then touches Deku. He's like, oh shit. As then pop. Lemillion and Eri are freaking out. Eri's thinking, oh god, he just killed him because of me. And Shiozaki's like, stop, let her go, and he'll live. As when Mirio refuses, a few other heroes saw what happened and they come running over, trying to help him, but Shiozaki is doing the whole thing. Lemillion's trying to do his best to keep out of Shiozaki's reach, and eventually the dude who was with him comes out with those quirk erasing bullets, and he's like, shoot, I can't keep dodging. As he tries to radio into Night-Eye, we found Shiozaki. As then after a little while, I'll say Deku's regeneration is a lot faster than Mercer's, so immediately it's just like he's starting to reform, regaining all his particles and stitching himself back together. As then first there's a hand, then a arm, then part of the chest, then another arm, then eventually it just builds up as to where everyone's standing right there, and they just see this puddle of red just reform itself as he re-solidifies, you could say. And it's like, so, as he cracks his neck, thought that could keep me down? I've survived way worse than being blown apart into particles. So, Shigaraki, I'm officially pissed now. As he takes out his claws, he's like, I'm gonna rip off those arms of yours. Comes rushing in an instant, slicing off Shizaki's arm. Him freaking out and then falling to his knees. It's like, now go night-night, as he smashes him right in the face. As that happens, they wrap up his arms and get him squared away. He's like, you okay, little one? As he's looking her in the eyes, she is now terrified of him. So he's like, expected reaction. Anyways, let's get this guy taken away. Should be stuff that could be done. As then, with that being said, this is where I'm going to end it off on. Later, I'll explain, like, next season, I'll explain what's going to happen with the whole Yakuza thing. But the next video I make will be about a young Gandalf. And so, before we do anything else, we got a What If Deku to pick out. So, this will be fun. Hey. This is What If Deku Was the Meta from Red vs. Blue. Alright, that's neat. So anyways, that will be the next Deku What If. And the next Bell What If, like I said, will be What If Deku was a young Gandalf. Well, not What If Deku, but What If Bell was a young Gandalf. I hope y'all have enjoyed this. Hope y'all continue to enjoy this. And I hope y'all have a nice day, nice night, nice life.